In this video, we are going to create a Christmas Mandala Bell. Now this can be used on your Christmas tree as a decoration or as a gift tag or some other decoration, whatever you choose. It's very pretty. Hi, I'm Sue from createwithsue.com and welcome to my channel. We're in the downloaded version of Canvas Workspace today, and I'll also show you how to do items in directly on your ScanNCut, so that you're not restricted to using Canvas Workspace. So all of this can be done in Canvas Workspace, or most of it's pretty good on your ScanNCut as well. Go up to File and import your design. That's one option. You can also use that SVG icon, or if you've got your File Explorer open, you can also grab your design and just drag and drop it directly onto your mat, and it will just be there and easy. So you've got a couple of ways to bring this in. We haven't got a hole in this design, so you can use it with or without the hole. I did actually go back and I've made a bit of a boo-boo in this. I forgot to do something, but I'll show you how I fixed the boo-boo as well. So I've left that in, but I'll also show you how to put the hole in this top, or in anything really. It doesn't have to be in this. You can use these instructions for any project. So go over into the edit panel and down to the alignment tools, and make sure your design is perfectly aligned. If it's an odd shape, choose the top or the bottom alignment, or if it's exactly the same, you can choose the central. Zoom in so you can see what you're doing. And what we're going to do is create a circle and pop it there. So just right there, and because there's two, we need them to align again. Let's show you how to do that too. There's a circle in your shapes panel, and we are going to reduce the size of this, obviously, so it fits in that little tiny spot at the top of the bill. You can do that with the handles, on the corner handles on the circle, or over here in the edit panel you can have your maintain aspect ratio on and just arrow it down, or you can actually put your measurement in. I've got it at 0.19. Anything around the 1.9, something similar to that, the ScanNCut will still cut fine, so that's not a problem. It will do slightly smaller. If you get it too small, you'll know it's not it's not quite right. But this size, it does pretty well. It will do smaller than this too. So we've got it. I've dragged it over to the where I want it, and I've right clicked and duplicated. You can go Control C, Control V, that also do it. And I'm going to select each one individually first. So I'm going to centralize it in the across the middle, so it's perfectly lined that way vertically on both of them. And now I'm going to select the two circles themselves, because we know the bell itself is already in alignment. You can actually use the little lock key as well in the panel if you're doing a lot of design work, and that will lock your base piece down so it doesn't move, and you can work your design from that. So now we've gone for the horizontal alignment to get those two in exactly the same position. With those two pieces on top, we will go into the layers panel. Make sure they're on top. You can see that the two bell shapes are at the bottom, and the two circles are at the top. And if you can't grab them, you can grab them this way. If you hold your control key down, you can grab the shape and the matching shape. So see, I've jumped to. Shift key will select them all. The control key will skip a few. 1, 2, skip a few. And we are going to go down. We're in the edit panel. We're going to scroll down, and we're going to use our subtract from the process overlap features. And we've subtracted that hole. And now we're going to go back and do that, the same thing for the other one. You can see that's not yellow, the little center of that hole. I don't know if you can see that in the video. It's not yellow anymore, it's the backing. And I've done it with the other one too, and just double check it, and that looks pretty good to me. And that's what it's going to look like. So in this section, we could actually duplicate all of these, and I'm just double checking that it all lines up properly. In this section, you can also duplicate this as many times and set out your layering and however you want to do that in Canvas Workspace. So to get the best, maximize the space on your mat or your cutting materials. You can do all that in here, but I'm going to show you in directly on your ScanNCut. So we will do the next bit in the ScanNCut. You already know how to duplicate in here, and alignment is just to flip, and that will all have, you can do that all that in here, but we will do it all on the ScanNCut. You can also hide parts of this design and send it over to your machine piece by piece, but because I'm filming, it's much easier for me to send it all over at once, so that's how I'm going to do it today. And you can do it that way too. If you've got a long walk back to your computer, that's probably an ideal way to do it as well. Do any final adjustments, make the changes you need. You could put some drawing on this, some text, some writing text on this as well, on the bell part, the backing. I'm actually going to duplicate the back part for this particular design, so it will go a little bit different, and that's the piece you'd write on. Right, we've sent it over to the machine, and I'll see you over at the machine in a moment. Okay, so we're at our machine. We're going to retrieve the data. I sent it over via Wi-Fi. You could have done it via USB or connected your computer to your device, to your ScanNCut. And you can see the two shapes that I've sent over, one the mandala and one the backing. We'll go into the edit, and we will duplicate this one here. I just want two of them at the moment. And go OK. And we're not going to cut this one at the moment. So we'll just delete that. We'll import that in a moment when we're ready to cut it. And I'll speed some of this video up in a minute. I might even chop a little bit of this out. Okay, so you can't see the mat very well with this screen. You can go into your tools icon and change the backing if you need to see it better. I can just see where my my cardstock is. And if you want to align these so they fit precisely, depends on your design whether this works or not, but we can align them like this. Do a 90 degrees twice makes 180, so do it twice and move them around to suit. All right, so you can fill your page up. I could only fit that many on this. I've got an A4 piece of cardstock on there. I've just changed the backing so you can see it a little bit better, whichever's easiest for you to see. Depends on what colour cardstock you put in there. And we're going to go away and cut this, and I will speed this cutting process right up because you don't need to see, don't need to sit through it all. You can see I've used a bit of tape there just to hold the cardstock down. Sometimes parts of your mat are a little bit unsticky, and a big piece of blue tape I like just to add that extra security, particularly in the bottom area if you have trouble, because it doesn't go into your mat at all. So that's a good place to pop it. But using long dark colours is a good way to keep track of your tape. Clear sticky tape's not a good idea. So, but big pieces of blue is very easy to retrieve. And there's the backing of the bell cut out. So lift them off, just give your mat a bit of a bend. You can normally I normally check the mat first to make sure that the design has cut all the way through, and then I will remove the mat. Obviously for the camera I've left it in the machine. Give it a bit of a bend. And this time we're going to delete the backing component and duplicate this as many times as it fits. And the same thing, move it around so it fits properly on your paperwork, on your cardstock. And just like we did with the back, place it so you can fit it on your cardstock. And if you need to align it a little bit more refined, the crosshairs will take you to these arrows and you can just move them across easily. Sometimes your stylus is a little bit ferocious with the movement and you can't quite get it close enough without getting it on top. Alright, I will speed some of this up as well. Use a brayer if you need to hold your cardstock more firmly or adhere your cardstock or materials more firmly to your mat. It's great for fabric. I use it often for fabric. Cardstock, I'm a little bit more cautious because you don't want your cardstock to stick too hard. But with a mandala design in particular, so anything fine and intricate, it does need to stick a little bit more firmly than if you're just cutting out, say, a square. Square will be quick and easy and won't come away. But once you start getting to intricate cuts, it does need to be fairly firmly adhered. It's a fine line between adhering it firmly and having it stick like glue and you can't get it off. This often depends a bit on your cardstock as well, what cardstock you use. And I've sped that right up, and this is the little mandala shape right there. Isn't that cute? Alright, now I'm not going to make you sit through all of the bits that sitting on the backing. I'm going to go and cut out some glitter cardstock as well, and I'll chop some of this off so you don't have to watch this me peeling all the different bells off. And just repeat that process. I've already just left it. All I've done is recut it. So I've used the same movements that I've set up, the same setup that I've done for those red bells. I've just used for this glitter cardstock as well. This is encapsulated glitter. It's got like a film on it so the glitter does not come off. It won't come off in your machine. I don't recommend the glitter that comes off in your machine. It's a bit, this one's very sealed, is probably the word I'm looking for. Is a sealed glitter. When we talk about encapsulated, it just means it's sealed. Okay, so we'll have a little look what this turns out like. And here it comes up. And I love glitter, so this is going to be so sparkly. Very exciting. Here we go. So lift it up. I would normally take this out of the ScanNCut just so it's a little bit easier to bend off, but we will do it in front of the camera instead. Lift it off gently because you don't want to rip any pieces. This is quite a chunky mandala, maybe I'll describe it like that, which is fine. You can potentially resize this a little bit down if you want it a bit smaller. It's got the capacity to do that. Use your spatula to, use your weeding tool to move any bits of the mandala cut that are just sort of stuck, cardstock stuck. And there he is, he's pretty cute. Even what's left on the that is very cute. And that's what it looked like with a white one. But I've got another one to do it with too, which actually turned out even better. So I'm going to turn these into swinging tags. So if you want to know what swinging tags are, stay tuned. And we're going to cut some more. So this is where I made the boo-boo. and I brought the design in and forgot that I had edited it hole in the top, and I cut a couple out without the hole. Some of the backing. So I've got a little trick that fixed that problem. So we've brought these ones in. This time I'm scanning the mat and I'm using some scraps for these ones. And you can see that they just fit on those pieces of cardstock. Find the spot they do fit. The scanning tool is brilliant for this. That's that little icon just under the edit. And we'll go and quickly cut these, and I'll give you a quick look, but I won't keep you through all of it because we'll go and put these together. I love using scraps, and I go off and use them for projects that are suitable for that particular piece of scrap. And I will speed this right up. Okay, we've got pink and orange one now. Right, so these are all my cut out pieces, and I'm going to use art glitter glue for this. There's no glitter in the glue. It's quite a good glue. I also use Tombow sometimes. And for this one, I'm going to cut an extra piece, so it's got a swing backing, a couple of different ties on this, and also my tweezers to put it together. And I'll speed all this up so you don't have to sit through watching the glue. Just place it, make sure you place it along the finer edges so they don't lift. So the little pointy bits that are sticking out of nowhere, try and capture them. So this time, instead of picking the glued piece up, I've put the dry bit over the top. That seems like an easier way of doing it. And then flipping it over and pressing it down. I'm known to have little dropping accidents with my tweezers, so any way that's easier is better. Press all the areas down that need to be stuck. And I'm just going to do, this one's just going to be a single one. I'm just going to use this sort of cheap tie for it. I really like the metallic stretchy cord best out of all of them. That's probably my favourite. This one's fine if you've got that. It looks quite nice. And then we'll do this one. Same deal. Leave it sped up. And I've realised I want to put the silver behind this, and I've realised that I haven't put a hole there. So I am going to find my little hole punch. So my hole punch looks like this. And you can just adjust those wheels around. It's just got, sort of rotates around, clicks around, and you find the one that suits the hole. So that one should be okay. Sorry, I've come off camera. So line your hole up that you want to duplicate, because it needs to be in exactly the same spot, otherwise it's a little funny. Ideally you do this either on your machine or in Canvas Workspace, but this is the hack to fix it. We all have those little mishaps, don't we? And chop it out and it will just poke through. There we go. Probably the weeding tool is the way to go again. I use my weeding tool for lots of things, not just weeding vinyl. Here we go. Good as new. Nothing like a mishap. Ah, dear. For your design, I've actually edited the design so that it's got the hole in it, but I did want to keep this in to show you all the things that can go wrong. And this bell is my favourite bell. Let's put the glue on it. I'll speed it up. So sparkly, this one. Okay, and you can see a little bit of excess glue there popping out where I put a bit too much. That will just dry. This is a pretty good glue. That dried clearly. So I was pretty happy with that. You can write, just leave it like that and write on the back there if you wanted to. Could have used the machine to draw. But I'm going to add an extra swing on it. I'm just trying to let this dry a little bit. It's the only thing. I would normally just leave it dry for a bit longer, but of course while you're on camera, can't leave it too long. And there it's a little bit drier. And this is one of my favorites. This is like stretchy metallic. Comes in gold and silver. Actually, it comes in lots of colours. Comes in greens and all sorts. I mainly use the silver and the gold. And I'm going to get a second backing. Now, I would potentially write the name with your machine. Sorry, I'll come off camera a little bit. Write the name of the machine on that swing bit before you finish. If you didn't want to handwrite it, I'm just doing it like this for this video. Plus, I haven't quite decided whose name's going on it. So that will just come away if you don't do another knot on this particular material, how we've done that. So you can leave that other knot at the top, or you could have it at the bottom, and we'll do another little knot just here to hold it in place, and that will hide the knot. And we can glue that knot down. Make sure your knot goes right to the, or fairly close to the bottom. I'm just trying to hold it all. So it comes down to there, so it's close. And we might cut that off a little bit and glue it. Don't have to. And there's your swing. I really like this idea. Put your name under there. You could put a little gift card under there if you want to. Just attach it with double-sided tape. And it's hidden. It's another idea for it. That is my favourite bell because I really love the shimmer. So you can still do it there. Attach something to the back. This time I'm just going to use this macrame rope. It's a bit thicker. It's another idea. I didn't love the finished effect. I really liked the thinner one. But it's an idea. You might love this one. Also, if you use just a little bit thinner, this macrame rope comes in a thinner version as well. I use this for outside of Christmas ornaments, you know, like the little edge. So that's what I bought this one for. And it was red, and I had a red bell. So it's a little thicker than I probably would have chosen for this project, but it'll be fine. Yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this. And we'll finish off with this bell getting its hanger on, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for joining me.